Welcome. It's Six Guys and You on Street News Now. My name is Lee Michaels. Welcome to the show. Don't forget, in fact, everybody right now, all at the same time, like, share, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twit, and several Facebook, one, two, three, four different Facebook pages. So we're here, there, and everywhere, which reminds me of a radio station down in Atlanta, Georgia back in the day. I don't know if they're still on the air or not, but it was an AM station, Peanut Gallery back here barking, called WIGO. And they used to say, "We go where you go." I always thought that was kind of cool. My old friend Scott Andrews was the program director of that station, and he was very instrumental in my humble beginnings in the broadcast business. So every chance I get to say thank you, Scotty Andrews, broadcast extraordinaire. Thank you very much, sir. In fact, Jerry Andrews is related to Scott. I think Scott was his uncle, if I remember correctly. But anyway, welcome to the show. We do this every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and you guys in the Midwest, 8. And in the mountains, goats are not listening. So they don't care about what time we start. So for all you mountain goats, you know what time you're supposed to be here. What a week. What a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and again today, nothing but breaking news. Trump has been dominating the news cycle like nobody's business, but he's an ace at doing that. You know, from the raid of the House to the court hearings in New York, now in Atlanta today. Oh, it's just like nonstop. I say, and it's going to be a little short opening statement for me tonight because I want to get the guys in here as quickly as possible. I say they're going to get him this time. I think the legal process is in full motion. They were in court again today because the media, media, y'all just need to slow this thing down. Don't rush to fail. Don't try to force the legal system to give you information for your purpose of breaking news. You're going to get the broke news one way or the other. As soon as it all comes out, as soon as that, if there's an indictment and goes into the court system, you will have access to that. But let's not rush, as my dad used to say, son, don't rush to fail. And there's a lot of meaning to that. So let's not rush the legal process to the point where it makes them make mistakes. I have faith in this particular process because I think the Justice Department has learned, the FBI has learned that if you're going to get somebody at this high level profile, you can't make no mistakes. You got to dot the I's and cross the T's. And I think the head of the Justice Department is fully aware of that. He is a methodical, cool, calm, collected person. And I think he's going to do a great job. So let's give him a chance to do his job. And the FBI, the CIA, the Boy Scouts of America, and all the other official organizations that are involved in this, give him a chance to do it. Let's not listen to Trump and his weirdness because we know he is a bold-faced liar. He will tell you that the water is hot and it's not. He'll tell you that he's the greatest and he's not. So let's not keep allowing this pimp to fill your head up with stuff when it's already proven, certified that he's a liar. Even his accountant, his head chief financial officer for years, even goes back to his dad's days in running the company, just turned on him. You know, not necessarily him personally, but the company. So if they break the company's back, so goes Donald J. and that J stands for jackass, Trump. So let's just be cool. Let the legal system go through its do its due diligence, and let's get this thing done so we can move on and get America floating back on the right track and get the job done. That being said, let me welcome the rest of the group in. Chris is not here tonight; he's on assignment. But let me bring another one of my road dogs, road dog. Mike Love, how you doing?
Doing good, man. They ain't gonna get that dude. I keep saying, I'm waiting.
You know what?
I'm waiting for you all to say, "I told you," because
No,
I'm not conceding until they got it.
Okay, fine, but I'm gonna come to your door with a GoPro in hand, and I'm gonna be right at your front door. We're gonna roll your concession speech live on social media because I want you to be able to.
I knew it all the time. I can tell you what the concession speech is gonna be. I knew they was gonna get it.
You know what? I'm not gonna waste no time with you. Yeah. And speaking of wild and crazy, Bug Weezy in the house like a child on punishment.
I'm gonna say the same thing. I told you.
You know what? Yeah, you told me and all of that, but I have faith in the system. I think that he can't weasel his way out of this.
Ain't nothing gonna happen though, Lee. Come on.
No, man. I don't want to hear it.
Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
Dr. Ron.
Yo.
Are these guys on point, or they just don't have no idea?
No, these guys, they live in states where they have to say things like that. You know, Georgia and Texas, okay?
That's
right. They're not trying to have the red roll over them. So
let's go Abbott. Let's go Abbott.
That's a good point. I like that, Dr. Ron. You're probably, as Egmont Sonderling used to say, Lee, you're most probably right.
I can't wait for them to catch you down on the border, Ron. And them guys gonna be on the horses, and they're gonna be whooping that ass with them whips.
Look. Let me tell you what the Washington Post has said. You know, Trump is rushing to hire seasoned lawyers, but he keeps hearing no. He can't get nobody.
Like Giuliani was a seasoned lawyer,
right? The former president,
he was seasoned, all right.
Legal team includes a Florida insurance lawyer who's never had a federal case.
He worked for Allstate.
A past general counsel for a parking garage company.
Wow.
And
he's an injury lawyer.
Right.
At far right.
Call 800. Wreck my car.
News. That's his legal team up to this point.
Now, Mike, we have a colleague, friend, and former broadcaster who is a constitutional lawyer.
Yes, sir.
JoJo Davis.
Joseph I did Haynes Davis Esquire.
What? But okay, he's still JoJo to me. He's, it's my dog, my radio dog. So he's still JoJo.
The Q's are gonna get your ass.
Joseph Haynes Davis hails out of Orlando, Florida. He's a licensed lawyer in Florida. And I texted him last night and asked him, I said, you know, Trump is looking for a lawyer. Are you available? Because one time on this show, he admitted that if Trump needed a lawyer, he wouldn't have a problem in representing him.
What did he say last night?
He hasn't responded.
Okay,
no response from JoJo. So there you go. And JoJo is in trouble.
He's in response. Who is this? No, change numbers. No new phone.
He can go out there and lead.
You don't comprehend that, no.
No speaking English.
He can go out there and lead this crack team of lawyers that's already on board.
Optimum word, crack.
Crack, right. I don't know, guys. It is going to be, I hope, the last time that we have to deal with this guy, although he's got other legal battles that is probably going to go into next year.
Yeah, well, this is the last time we talk about him.
No, it ain't gonna be the last time. But
That's what I was praying. I mean, he said what I was thinking.
Well,
is that right?
Yeah.
It's like having one of those New Orleans voodoo dolls. You got to keep sticking pins in it. You got to keep sticking them every now and then.
It must be a blind man sticking them because they ain't hit him in the heart yet.
Right, they ain't hit him in the heart.
No, they torturing him. They sticking him in the feet, in his butt, in his hand. Right. They got to stick him in his head a few more times.
Yeah.
So as much. As many people that talk about him in a hateful way, I'm sure he's got, damn, who just stuck me? Who's that?
let me say hello to another fellow broadcaster and a great human being, Lon McHugh from KJLH.
KJLH.
Here in LA, station owned by the eighth wonder of the world, Stevie Wonder. And I had the pleasure of working there at that institution, that fine piece of history. And Lon, keep on rocking, brother. Yeah, I had to call him out. He's jackass all day and twice on Sunday. Let me ask you guys a question.
But hold on just a second, because you mentioned WIGO and you were talking about
Scott Andrews.
Scott Andrews.
Yep.
WIGO is coming back. Sheila Brown, who owns WUFO in Buffalo, is bringing the station back.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it on the air now as another?
No, I'm not sure if it's on the air, but I spoke to her about 2 weeks ago because we're working some other deals out, and she was getting the equipment and the processing together.
Oh,
but
cool!
It's on the way back.
Cool. Tell her to get an FM to hook up with that. And
I was just thinking
move down to Atlanta and rock.
I think she's got a translator. That's what she's working on.
Really? Yeah. Fantastic. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Mike Mazzone. He's in the house, another broadcaster.
Oh, okay.
You don't know Heart Attack?
No. Mike Mazzone.
Yeah.
Hello, my friends.
That's his real name.
Oh, okay.
Us broadcasters, sometimes we have aliases. And so that's
y'all don't be using y'all real names and stuff.
Hell to the no.
Damn. I wouldn't do that, man, if they didn't let me use my real name. I don't even know why you in that then.
Well, my legal name, and I think a lot of people know it,
George.
Especially if you owe me money.
Or you owe the Internal Revenue Service money like I do. Yeah, exactly. They know my name.
My name is it was too formal to be a hip R&B top 40 hip hop DJ. So I actually changed my name on an airplane leaving Norfolk, Virginia to St. Louis on April Fool's Day, 1973.
So hold on, wait a minute. I grew up listening to you from the time I was in diapers, right? So you telling me you could have you almost went on the air as George?
Yeah. Yeah, I was George in Virginia.
Lord stepped in because you can't do that Music 16 KATZ. This is George.
No. You see what now you understand. Now, and for all you knockoff Lee Michaels out there, quit. Yes, I have retired from the airwaves, but you can't carry on the legacy. I'm sorry.
There are knockoff Lee Michaels, is this?
Yeah, there's a Lee Michaels in Baltimore that does gospel programming and on the air. He's a nice guy, really nice.
Well, shame on him.
Yeah. And then actually, I stole the name from the top 40, well, not top 40, but rock and roll artist who used to be on A&M Records by the name of Lee Michaels.
Wow. I should snitch on you.
Oh, no, don't do that. But
snitches get snitches.
Snitching is in.
Yeah,
snitching is in.
We're going to talk about that.
In this affidavit that was in court today that the press and other people who want to have all of this information released, which I think should not be released, even in a edited version of it. I think the legal system need to have its leadway to do it without any complications or potential leaking of information with no pressure. That's the way the legal system should be working. So they were in court today, and fortunately, the judge says, no, you can't let it go. Maybe in a version of it. Let the affidavit become,
let the affidavit go. Okay.
Public. Exactly. So I'm glad that they did that. That's a good thing. But the real important part of this is there are names in this affidavit that if they are released, it would complicate the legal process. So we don't know if there are family members or people who are working at the house there in Florida or
Snitch.
other, yeah, that might have leaked or snitched and gave out some internal information. But in addition to that, obviously, I think there had to be somebody on the inside that gave the feds some information. With that or not, the feds knew he had certain documents that he should not have possession of. That to me is enough to go in there and get those documents out of his hands. The man cannot be trusted. We know that he's a money hog, egotistical maniac. I would not doubt if he would sell the information to foreign entities. That's my biggest fear. And there was some top secret stuff that should have never left the White House, or more importantly, they say you had to be in a special room with no cameras, no cell phones, no nothing. And it has to be someone there in that room with you while you're reading the documents. You can't take the documents with you.
Well, wasn't some of the stuff that came out with today talking about classified versus unclassified?
Well, he's been saying all the time that he declassified all the documents. That
he would never take any classified information.
Absolutely not.
No.
Well, he did.
He said he did, and it was declassified.
He's a lying SOB.
If he
doesn't
says
have the
lying,
authority to declassify the
if he
information.
says he did, he did.
But he can't. It's not just his individual opinion or power to do so.
Right.
Yes, it is.
No,
I think so too. He's Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Well, see, that's the problem.
You see, Lee, that's that red state that they're in. Speaking,
yeah, I know.
He's one step below.
Let's
Oprah.
go, Abbott. Let's go, Abbott.
Yeah.
He's one step below Oprah. Let me tell you right now.
I'm with you, Buck, 150%.
Damn right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do to you. To hell with them, man. You know, they have minds. They have lost all of their minds are 2 points below plant life right now.
They don't understand that just because he said it don't make it true.
Right. That's what I've been saying all the time. I had to put them in the idiot box for a minute.
Time out. We're in time
Yeah,
out.
that's all right. But we back. Okay. But we back. All right.
Well, welcome back. But behave yourself. Don't get ignorant on me now. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't tell the truth about Donald Trump.
Look, let me say this about the courts, to their vast knowledge of how to handle, as Lee would say eloquently, criminals. Mm-hmm. They have dealt with organized crime figures, a long time. They took down organized crime when they had moles and informants within their organizations and used their testimony to go after crime bosses. Mm-hmm. And so they know what they can release and what they cannot release, no matter who's asking questions, because you got to know that those crime bosses, going back as far as the movie, the Valachi's, they wanted to know who was, the person that so they can put a contract on that person, and they did, mm-hmm. But he outlived most of the bosses, and the contract still lived. But they know what to do and how to do it when dealing with highly volatile information, and how to release it, when to release it. The information will not be released unredacted probably until 50 years from now. You know, we won't see any of those names on those documents that they use to present to the court to be able to get, you know, the search warrants and forthcoming warrants. If, you know, they're speculating, they got people making the media circuit talking about this person, that person, you know, who's the likely person to have done this, you know, but it's not going to happen.
You know what's crazy? To think that in 2022 that they can still keep things under wraps. I mean, you know, with the day and age of leaks and data breaches and hackers, it's kind of surprising they can keep anything secret nowadays.
Well, they got to do it.
I mean,
you know, you can't prematurely contaminate the legal process. Right. For one main reason, in my mind at least, if some of this information in the affidavit gets out, that might give reason for the Trump legal team, those Boogum and Slumu, give them an opportunity to have it thrown out of the court.
Larry, Curly, and Moe.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
No.
Whoop, 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 whoop. My thing is this, Lee. I'm with you 150%. And we kind of joking around with this thing that, based on the fact that we know that see, where my frustration comes in this situation, they're playing an insider's game. You got two sides protecting each other, and they're not telling the public at large what they're really protecting. That's why I keep saying that I don't believe this is going to come out, because it's not what the news cycle is telling us that we're seeing. You know, well, it was classified information. Then they came back and said, well, that information, he would never take classified. It was declassified.
Well, wait. But no. But that's, the people that are saying that he would never do that. Maybe they're thinking that was a different president that has some scruples.
Right.
But this guy,
he don't give a damn. Say it.
Exactly. He
don't give a damn.
It's all about him. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, here's the bottom line. If he had certain documents that had value to a foreign country, now just not any particular one, but any foreign country that might be looking for some inside information, whether it's about what our capabilities are from a nuclear standpoint, or some of our military assets,
intel,
whatever. Yeah, exactly. That kind of information is worth billions to these guys, and these countries would pay for it. Somebody would, especially Russia or North Korea,
North Korea, China. I guarantee you, they have at least one person, probably more than that, but at least one person sitting there analyzing every little bit of data that comes out of this crappy trial.
Absolutely.
And are trying to figure out if
they haven't seen it already.
Yeah. And we don't know if our infrastructure has been hacked by some of these foreign countries. They're trying to do it every day. So, but we shouldn't make it easy. We shouldn't be in the public talking about this kind of stuff. And that's what bothers me as a broadcaster. I've watched CNN, MSNBC, and a little bit of Fox, because if I watch more than 5 minutes of Fox, I'll start throwing things at the damn TV.
Which is exactly what they want.
Exactly what they want you to do.
And I've already had to buy 3 TVs to replace them. They are so crazy and one-sided, and they are a part of the problem.
You just said you're in broadcasting. You just contradicted yourself. You're in broadcasting. Why are they doing that, Lee? With all the stuff that you've ever taught me in this business, and I put a heavy weight on you, it's to gain audience.
And why are you breaking TVs?
Oh, no question. Absolutely, that's
Because
the
he can
reason.
afford to buy
Sensation-
more TVs. That's the reason why I owe Uncle Sam money now, and I ain't got no damn money in my checking account. Because every time Lee come up, what was he talking about before we went on the air today? He got to buy something. Every time we get ready, we in the dark room, the behind the scene room, he buying something. Then I go right there and get the same thing.
That's
Lee
right.
get. How the hell
That's
we
right.
gonna have
Now,
some damn money?
you don't need no money. You got to
Obviously
have
not.
toys.
Well,
When
you
we all
guys-
come to your funeral, we're gonna say, "Damn, he had all the."
They gonna be
toys,
laying
man."
toys in my casket. Here the road
That's-
casket too.
I'm gonna say,
Here's
"What's
the
that
road
address, man? I'm gonna go over there and get that Rodecaster Pro too."
You know they dug up Mike Love's grave last night. And
That son of a gun took the Rodecaster with him.
and
but
his new
seriously,
USB mic.
Let me just say this. Like I said, we're trying to keep it light because it ain't really worth the seriousness that's out here. But once again, I don't think it's about Russia. I don't think it's about China. I think it's about them fools that are sitting in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump is like holding the cards, and he got enough intel on these guys that they are worried to death. And whatever's in those classified files and what's ever in those boxes, they're sweating bullets. Now, that's phase one. Phase two of this situation, what happened with Liz Cheney the other day? She lost.
She did.
Okay.
Yep. That's sad.
And that's sad. That's exact. Now, that was a Donald Trump move that he's saying, see, I told you. I could shut her ass
That's
down.
revenge. Revenge.
That was revenge. Thank you.
Yep. All 8 Republicans, 4 have bailed out of the race. They're not even running this time. And the other, I think all the other 4 have, all but one, I think maybe, have lost in the primary. So here's the problem with that.
Are these Trumpers that lost? Is that what you're saying?
No, the Trumpers are winning
Okay.
in the primary.
But she's a Republican, though.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's
here's
on
the problem.
the January 6th committee. I just wanted
Exactly.
to clarify that. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not anymore.
Yeah, she's still there till the end.
No, she's still on the
got
committee.
4 more months.
Yeah.
Oh, she got
till
4 more
the end of the year.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
in
till
the
the
house
end of the year.
until the new house takes over.
She needs to get some classified documents.
Now, right. Here's the problem. The reason these Trump supporters are winning is because they're doing a good job at messaging. They are hammering, his message, absolutely. They are banging the gong every damn day, same message over and over again. It was fraud. They cheated. They stole the election. Donald Trump is still the president. You keep saying that over and over again to weak-minded people, they will believe it. And they will carry that message.
Because of the one thing I always say, all publicity is good publicity. And he's got more publicity than anybody could have bought in any election.
It's called brainwashing.
But he's got the most of it than anybody. Nobody's ever had this much
He understands that. And it's time for the Democrats to sell the truth in a much louder voice. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. And that's what Liz Cheney was doing. My light just went out. And unfortunately,
that was Donald Trump. He pulled the plug on you.
Right, exactly, jackass. So here's
Rudy
the problem.
Giuliani with his voodoo.
The Republicans are spineless. Why? Why are all of the Republicans still supporting the big fat lie? Because they are part of it. They supported it from day one, and they're cowards to moonwalk away and say, hey, I was wrong. I admit, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and we have to move on because this guy screwed all of us.
And then they're gone. Leave that dirty.
I understand that. They must be
dirty. But politics, you don't do that in politics. The minute you say I was wrong, you're gone.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
if you're wrong once, you'll be wrong again in the eyes of the people. They don't know. That's why politicians never apologize, hardly ever. And if they do, they're gone. They're not stupid.
I like that. A politician never apologizes.
That's exactly what I just said. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said. I like that. That was
Exactly,
genius what you just said. A politician never apologizes. That was
I'm pretty
freaking
smart.
genius.
Pretty smart.
But they need to stop that, man, because eventually your credibility will be shit.
Your
Absolutely
credibility is
zero.
already shit.
It
But
is.
when you
Cares
live
about
in
credibility,
Wyoming, when you live in these places where you don't have to adhere to the balances of the world, everything is a one-track vision. And that's what he plays to. You know, you and I were talking on the phone a couple of days ago offline, and we were talking about The Art of the Deal, his most infamous book. And here's where I give Donald Trump credit. It's like a blueprint. He's showing you exactly how it's done. If somebody tries to pull a fast one, I'm going to tell you, I got some pictures with Lee and some goats in a barn house. Notice how you use you, Lee.
No, that was R. Kelly. That wasn't me.
Oh, sorry about that. But that's the thing that he specializes in. The art of the deal is to take you down before you take me down.
Oh,
So
no
I
question.
went and got these classifications. I brought them to my house. I went through them with a fine tooth comb, and I'm ready for any one of you suckers to say one thing. And the people who know that they're guilty, the ones who know that Donald Trump can release something that can bring pain to their families and their constituencies, or
But I don't think the classified information is about individuals. I think most of that information is primarily national security.
Right.
And they have mentioned on this week that even the persons who carried that material to his house, that was criminal, because that was not supposed to be outside of what they say, the clone of silence, top security room where your eyes only, and no cell phones, no nothing. And then they put it in a box and sent it to his house. So the person who carried it there is subject,
could be implicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But under his power and disguise, we don't even know if it was a freaking moving company that came to the White House.
Right. We don't even know how it got there.
We don't know.
Yeah.
That hasn't been disclosed.
Uber
yet.
Eats may have brought it.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A Lyft
Amazon
Uber car.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a Suburban.
Now let's go back to Liz Cheney for a second. Even though she lost her primary, I can foresee her being more powerful outside of her home state because of this, January 6th, committee. More people are aware of her and the ability that she has to stand up and say, Republicans, we need to, stand behind the truth and the oath of office that we took, and not let this guy get away because he was who he was, So it's a lot of people on a national platform that have seen her, and they have questioned her several times. Will you run for the presidency? And she has left that open to the point where she could easily be a vice presidential candidate or even a presidential candidate, depending on who decides to stand up and try and take control of the party that is truly have lost their nuts.
She's going to have to beat President Manchin, though. Tell me he ain't.
That was a nice curveball there, buddy.
That was a nice curveball.
Yeah, and I've been saying it for a year or better that he has desires to run for the presidency.
Absolutely.
And he pulled several power plays and blocking bills and what have you, but then in the last two, he came on over. But I've been saying from day one, he's not a damn Democrat.
Nope.
And he's another one that I can't trust.
A politician.
Yeah.
Lee, stop
But see,
right there
that's the
just for
problem.
a
We
second.
need to stop politics.
There
Okay,
you
now
go. Oh,
with
thank you. Thank
the
you.
part of politics needs to go away.
Thank
It's
you.
Let's
never
look at
going
the
away.
last two bills
It's
that
not.
let's look at the last two things that passed the House and the Senate. There are two very important bills that are now law. Along the party lines, 100% of the Democrats voted for it, 100% of the Republicans voted against it.
Mhm.
You're telling me, and I'm talking to the Republican folks now. You're telling me that
That's not a
none of
watchman.
the elements in these two bills that just passed will benefit Republicans? I say to you, you're a damn fool and you're lying through your teeth. But you're a coward and you won't vote for something that's good for the people. All the people, not Democrats, not Republicans.
They don't care
But
about the people.
well, that's the problem.
Thank you,
and we
Dr. Ron.
and the only way that's going to change if people go out there and vote these clowns out.
They have to do it.
Starting with Mitch
gotta do it.
McConnell and even anybody on the Democratic side that's not looking out for the best interests of their people.
Yeah,
That is
they-
That's
all
the
that
bottom
stuff.
line.
All that stuff you just said, Lee. Oh, that was so cute. It really
No, but
was.
it's real. It's
But it
real.
ain't, but it's none of it's gonna actually happen. That's you
Well,
got to
I
get rid of
got-
the
I got
two-party
f-
voting, and you can't vote for one you all along party lines, and you got to stop the I mean, it sounds good. It really doesn't. It's cute, but ain't none of that shit gonna happen.
Well, it's
Lee.
got to happen. It's got to
It ain't
change,
going
man.
to.
It
Yeah,
can't
you
keep
know,
going on this way
It's not
because
going to.
look at the hole that we're in now. Look at this whole Republican Party. Let's go back a couple of elections. The Tea Party boneheads, okay? They have evolved into whatever this is now.
What is this
Okay,
now that they've
it's
evolved into?
Tea Party on steroids. Out of control, not American spirited people. Because if anybody thinks it was smart to go into the Capitol building and try to take over, you are delusional.
What was the Tea Party's whole point? I've totally forgot.
Anti everything. They wanted
what
to
it was?
take over. They wanted to dilute all laws and everything. They were just nuts. These are the same guys that will stand on a corner in a busy street with guns strapped on both sides because
see.
it's legal. So let's go out and show our ammunition and artillery because we can get away with it. But
And I
if
think a
any of
lot
the
of
four of
them-
us got out there,
yeah,
the police will come up and give you a bad day experience.
yeah, and I think a lot of them kind of started drifting towards the young Republicans type mindset,
Yeah.
but yet the young Republicans like Cruz and some of the other Republicans that are so far-fetched, with the ideology of supporting the Republican Party by any means. They don't care, whatever they say. People come out of the just listening to the information, the facts, the truth behind the January 6th, committee. And then all of a sudden they asked the Republican, what did they feel about the information? Oh, it's just media. You guys in the media, you're just twisting it and turning it. It's not
And where did
real.
that come from, Dr. Ron?
Well, it's propaganda. These
It
guys
came it came from Trump.
yeah,
His messaging told the people that it's fake news. The media is against you. You can't trust what they say. So why did he say that? Because the media was telling the truth and he had to defuse what the media was saying.
yeah. And then they asked that
That's
famous
it.
question: would you vote for him in the next, selection process for the Republican Party? Absolutely, absolutely. Trump is our man. Absolutely.
What did we do before Trump? Who do we bitch about? I don't remember.
Well,
Seems like it's
it
been
depends
forever.
on whether you were a Republican or a Democrat. I mean, when the Bushes were in, we complain about
I don't
them.
remember us. I don't remember us complaining about Bush like this.
No,
Is
he was
anybody
just
else?
he was just not very smart. But
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I would take Bush right now. Either
In
one
a
of them
heartbeat.
in a New York
Either
second.
one of them.
yeah. Bush respected the system. You know, the system that was in place. Trump came in and tried to dismantle the system.
Yeah, turned it into his company. He turned the
We're-
United States of America into his private company.
We're sorry, Dub. We want you back.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you think about Richard M. Nixon and you think about Donald Trump, these are two people that don't understand what it really means to have a constitution and being in a diplomacy, you know, or in a republic, you know, and we're supposed to be, I want to say, in a republic. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But see,
And
the
you got
difference,
To the republic, to which it stands, one nation
Right.
under God.
right?
But see, sometimes the diplomacy, you know, let's go back to the old days when there were things that just weren't being said on television and newspapers. You know, they were said amongst people in the VFW clubs, in different places where there was a migration of only blacks, migration of only whites, migration of only Hispanics, whatever the case may be. And so these party lines and these conversations never crossed. See, what messed all this up, especially for the Republicans, is that the party lines cross because you have social media. Social media is basically responsible for opening up the
everything.
doors. Yeah, for everything.
Easy access
everything.
to the public.
To the public.
Free
And-
access
and-
24/7. Repetition. Now, all
Hold
of
on
a
a second.
sudden,
Did I tell you real quick, just a real quick one? Did I tell you that I had a pastor on my show one time? This is about 15 years ago. He said, the worst thing that's ever happened to the world is the internet. I said, why? He says, because it lets evil spread throughout the world. I said, well, it spreads good too. He said, but evil spreads faster.
At least the adversary has just as much to contribute to social media as those who are following Jesus.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's an open forum. That's one of the things.
But evil spreads so much faster for some reason.
Well, right. And that just depends on what you believe in. And a lot of times evil is weakness. You know, when you turn around and people will adhere to something that they know absolutely isn't correct, but it's easy to go for. You have people out here who go against the grain because they can. They have no reason. If you put them in a room with a hot light in their face and ask them, why did you just say that? Why did you do that? They have no answers.
Devil's
just wanna be
advocates.
They're devil's advocates. You see what
I
I'm
used to play
saying?
devil's advocate a lot because I like to argue.
Right. And you know what? That was a key word that people use, but now we're seeing what that really means in real time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
know, and something we fail to realize is that, you know, the devil's got a good press agent.
He's got workers. He got worker bees just like God got
look,
worker
they
bees.
make sure he gets credit for everything, you know, even if he didn't have nothing to do with it. You know, people will tell you know, the devil did it, and he might not have had nothing to do with it, but he gets credit for it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so he's always had a good press agent.
Well, that's why they say faith without works is dead. And you have to believe in something. I believe in a higher power that pays off. You know, there's a thing that I want to put on my Facebook page tomorrow that says my praise is my weapon. And the reason I say that is because there's a funny thing. Bishop T.D. Jakes said maybe about this time last year. He said, you know, the best part about putting your slippers under your bed, it forces you to get on your knees every night. And think about that. And you got to be thankful for something. And this is not to go off on a religious rant or anything like that, but go back and look at what we have and how we got it and what we believe in and what we don't believe in. You know, the insurrection, January 6 people who stormed the Capitol seriously believed that they could change government by storming the Capitol building.
Yeah.
They was dead ass serious. And I don't mean to put ass and God in the same context, but they were dead ass serious.
They were following a command from the commander in chief.
The adversary in chief.
Yes. Yeah, that him too. But I mean, and see, that's the danger from this guy. He was dangerous. Still is, because he still has the ear of these supporters. And I don't know what has to happen for people to surrender from that. I mean, some people will take ignorance to their grave. Some people will take a lie to the grave.
Yep.
But this is about the country that you live in. It ain't about black and white, Asian versus anything else. It's not about that, folks. This is about the country that we live in.
Yep.
This is your home, and you want it to be radical, out of control by criminals?
Yep.
Donald Trump is a criminal.
Yeah.
The
It's a
things that
lot
he
more
has done.
criminals in Washington, D.C., Lee Michaels, than Donald Trump.
Oh,
He wants to be the leader of the pack.
No, you're right. But see, here's the thing. You've got to start at the top. And right now, he is the leader of the Republican Party. If you don't take him down out of that position, it's going to continue. Look at the people that are winning in the primaries around that are still promoting the big fat lie.
You know, speaking about the big fat lie, have y'all ever heard of DEF CON?
Yeah, DEFCON 1, DEFCON 2.
No,
No.
no. No, it's
That's movie
a
stuff.
big, yeah, it's a big convention
Mhm.
and that took place this year and a couple of years in a row in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
And DEF CON is where they invite all of the, hackers from all over the world to come to Vegas. And one of the agendas this year and last year was to try and hack all of the various types of voting machines. That was part of the lie. Okay. And the hackers could not come up with any evidence that these machines could be hacked. So the CNN did a report on it in the business department and said misinformation, not machines. Biggest election vulnerability, hackers say. The machines are not vulnerable. It's the words and the lies that the Republicans and all of the people who support the lie are putting out there. So, we have to counteract the lie by putting the truth out there and allowing people to know it's safe to vote in whatever state you're in, because they had a machine from everywhere and they could not crack them. And these are the best black market, all the hackers from all over the world.
Yeah.
That came forward to try and prove that this thing can be hacked. And they couldn't hack them. So,
Now, let me just say about hackers. There are good hackers and there's bad hackers. Companies hire hackers to make sure that their software and hardware can't be hacked. Exactly. Banks, Microsoft, and and these antivirus companies, they all hire hackers to try to break the software. Then you got people like coming from China and Russia and places like that are hired by the governments of those countries to hack into other countries' infrastructure to steal secrets. So I just wanted to throw that out there for people to think when they hear the word hacker or hacking, it's not always from a negative standpoint.
Exactly.
Well, let me say this right quick before we throw it back to Ron. And this is what I heard. I don't know this as a fact, but that's what happened with the Elon Musk deal with Twitter. Everyone that I talked to that's in that game said the thing that broke that deal was Elon Musk wanted to come in and not hack, but he wanted to change how people would join it, who could be in it, who couldn't be in it. And basically the coders said it's already done. All we do is write string of code to help the system do what it needs to do. But going in and making sure that Buck Wild can't get in, or it kicks Dr.Ron out, or it duplicates Lee Michaels' sites is something that we don't get involved in. Now you done sat here and wrote a check for $66 billion to buy this company and thought you were going to go in and just have your way. But just what you just said, Dr. Ron, in reference to this whole thing, you know, they already hired the hackers to keep it from being hacked.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go in and think that you can take a social media stream and turn around and decide who you're going to put on and who you're not going to put on. The computer does.
It's all about control.
It's all about control.
Yeah. Power and control to control the narrative.
At least somebody just hacked your thing. You have echo.
That was Buck Wild. Buck did it. He's jealous. That's all it is.
You got the look on his face like he's guilty too.
I wanted to help make this a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That I did do that.
But a lot of people don't think about that, Buck. You know, the interesting part about this conversation is, like he said, you know, they wanted to have this big convention, go out here and think they were going to come up with a scheme. Social media is on its own. Okay. The guy that runs Facebook, and I think Facebook owns Instagram at this point. They're not going in there typing no shit to change shit every day. It's on autopilot for the rest of our lives.
Now, Facebook Facebook and Instagram, they do change their algorithms all the time.
All of them change the algorithms, but
but it's not a human being sitting there monitoring what you're doing.
Yeah, one person going, I don't want that Buck on here.
Yeah,
they have a lot of employees though. What they all do?
Well, yeah, there's a lot to be done in the background.
I mean,
wait a minute. You just brought up something, Buck. And Lee and I was talking about this the other day. So Proposition 22 is coming out in Los Angeles, and they want to force the computer companies. A lot of those coders are independent contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And so
they want to bring them in house.
They want the companies to pay them or get rid of them.
It's all
for benefits. Benefits purposes.
No, they just go ahead.
It's about tax dollars, man. You know, Uber drivers in most states are independent contractors. The company doesn't take out, Social Security and state taxes and federal taxes and all. They get 100% of whatever they earn. Then it's incumbent upon those drivers to file their taxes and pay whatever based on their gross income. They want to change it to make these guys employees for whatever. I don't know what the benefit is for the company or from the government, because either way, you get money. The only difference is, as an independent contractor, you elect not to put money into Social Security. That's up to you. So that might hinder Social Security from growing.
Which is already in trouble.
Yeah, they've been saying that for the last 25, 30 years too. But for some reason, it keeps on going. And
it hasn't,
they're saying in another 10 or 12 years, it's going to be out of money. But they've been saying that for a long time.
Good thing you don't need the money, huh?
Well, I'm getting mine. Shit,
I'm getting mine.
I paid into it. It's not a freebie. You paid into it.
Okay? But if they go broke,
that's your money. And they use your money to do whatever they to do with it.
If it goes broke, what happens?
Well, I think
they're gonna print the money.
What was it?
Your belly up, buddy.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt wrote it into existence, and they'll just write it out. That's all.
They'll just write it out.
Yeah, that's why, many years ago, retirement plans started going to 401ks, which was a private entity versus a government entity. So, they're trying to gradually, stray people in another direction anyway,
Well, who benefits on the 401k?
Insurance companies,
Wall Street.
And bankers.
Yeah.
And bankers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, everybody's got a vested interest in something.
Mm-hmm.
I started taking my Social Security at 62 because I thought, who knows?
Yeah, me too.
Who knows?
The biggest farce is private jails.
Well, that's big business, man.
Why?
Big business.
It's like, come on.
Yeah. I just like to have the contract to sell to, whether it's private or state or federal penitentiaries. I just want the toilet paper contract.
Agreement, right? The soap. The soap,
Oh,
man. The
Yeah.
soap.
Flip flops.
Oh my God.
The little jumpsuits.
The little
Yeah,
jumpsuit, man.
yeah, give me
Come on,
one of
that's
those
a
contracts.
The
look,
condoms.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess they use those
Yeah.
in there too. But give me the toilet paper contract or the paper plates. Just give me one of those. I'm straight. I'll be good to go.
I didn't know
Yeah.
you were an expert at toilet paper.
I will
You
be
haven't
overnight.
seen Lee on the Charmin commercial? He's that heavy set man.
I
That
thought
be
you were going to
shaking his
say,
butt.
you ain't seen him in there taking a dump? I'm like, no, I have not.
I
No.
haven't seen that either. No, I don't want to talk
Me
about that.
Yeah.
Home at 11.
Yeah.
Man, nobody
Well,
got time for that.
Okay, so
yeah, DEF CON, it did its thing this year. They still couldn't find anything wrong with the machines, you know. So my statement to everybody in every state, get out and vote.
Yeah.
Vote
Absolutely.
your choice. Do not let the lie, the big lie that's still floating around that the election was stolen and, you know, there's no way to beat these machines. That's not true. You know, hackers from all over the world tried to find, you know, what was wrong with these machines and they couldn't find. You remember Mr. Pillow? Y'all remember this? We talked about
Yeah,
this.
the Mr. Pillow guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a big data guy come in. Oh, we're gonna prove it to everybody
didn't happen.
in this big conference room. And then when the guy came in and said, hey, we can't find nothing wrong with the machines, then he said, well, the CIA must have changed everything.
Yeah, well, always.
Well,
gotta
what did he
back
get
up
out
to
of it,
the lie.
Ron? When you think about it, it was once again. Let's go back to the
nothing.
No, he sold pillows.
No, he did.
Yeah, but Walmart and a bunch of other retailers
dumped it.
kicked him out.
Yeah, Costco dumped
He's
it
got
too.
something else he's selling now. It's not pillows.
Yeah, he
I
lost.
just
he
saw a
lost
commercial
that
on
one.
Fox, of all
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
What is it? Was it shoes? It's like sandals.
I was
They're
gonna say my
supposed to-
pillow shoes.
What he took the same rubber out of the pillows and put them into sandals.
Oh,
So-
man.
so
Look, I don't know if anybody on this panel has ever tried a Mr. Pillow.
I have not, but
I took
my
it
wife
back to
bought
the
one,
store.
and she said it was the worst pillow she ever bought. in her
Ever.
life.
So
Ever,
what
ever.
made it bad? I mean, what was wrong with
It's
it?
Man.
not comfortable.
What made
Okay.
you try
It's
it?
crap.
You know, because I thought it would be a very good pillow, you know, because all the
Coming from
advertisement,
Mr. Pillow.
you know, all the advertisement they put out there, this is
Yeah.
the last pillow you'll ever want to own.
Right.
You know,
You're
so
right.
you buy it, you took it home. Thank God Walmart has a return policy.
Hey, look, they couldn't even give them away to homeless people out on the street. They said, no, I'm good. I got cardboard, dog. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good."
Has anybody ever tried a purple mattress?
I
The
have
name
not.
is just the coolest name ever. Purple
Yeah.
mattress. It's a
I
purple.
don't like the name. I think it's like
What? Purple?
purple. I mean,
Are
what,
you
what-
kidding? It's like red cameras. I want a red camera. Why? Because it's great? No, because the name of it is red.
What's the difference
No,
between
no.
purple and lavender?
Lavender's like a light purple.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little less blue in it, maybe?
It's just not as dark.
Well, yeah, it's lighter, but what makes it lighter? Less blue? Less
More
dark
white.
blue? More white?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lighter shade of purple.
No, it's a whiter shade of pale.
Okay.
Well, lighter shade of brown.
That was a
So-
song, by the way.
I know.
Back
Yeah.
to Lee.
Who was it by?
We're through with DEF CON now. So
Thank goodness.
yeah.
Hopefully we
It
threw
was actually
strong.
interesting. It was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, okay, Mike, I think you have, you want to get into your topic?
Yeah, well, we're
Well, we
talking,
kinda
you know,
touched on it a little bit.
I brought in this thing to kind of liven us up called the Street News People Poll. And our Street News People Poll question of the week is to get you guys who follow us on the show. And we really appreciate everybody who's checking in. And sometimes we get in the middle of a conversation and people are saying, good evening, guys. And hey, Katrina and all those different people who are out there. We want to say hello and thank you for supporting us and being here with us. We love you guys and think it's just really marvelous that you would take time, you know, to come and be with us in the evening time. So the Street News People Poll of the Week question is, would you snitch on your parents if you were about to be charged with a crime or be imprisoned on a crime that your parents committed? And you know, all this is just based on the fact that Ivanka and Jared, her husband, basically over the last week or so, everybody was wondering, how did this whole case start with Trump? And they went down there and they're trying to get the files from Mar-a-Lago and the whole 9 yards. Well, it seems to have started from an investigation that the FBI was doing on Trump before they did the raid. And Ivanka and Jared released some information that pretty much pushed it further ahead.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And let's make sure we say that allegedly. Okay. So once again, the SNN People Poll question of the week. Would you snitch? Telltale ass. On your parents if you were about to be charged with a crime or be in prison on a crime that your parents committed? We'd love to hear from you. Lee, tell them how to get to the chat on our website.
Well, wherever you are, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Twit, or YouTube, just type it in the chat and we'll be able to see it.
Or just think it.
Or yeah,
and we'll pick it up.
That's it, boy. You a genius.
Can we give our opinion at this point, or we want to wait for some? Okay,
your people too.
If my daddy was Donald Trump, I'd be singing like a canary.
Oh my!
He didn't say Donald Trump. He said yo daddy.
Well, I understand. I said if Donald was my daddy,
but he's not your daddy.
But my daddy was smarter than the average bear. He wouldn't do no shit like that.
You, Joe, you didn't know he might have when he was young?
No. My dad was too wise, and he would instill these little tidbits into my head, so I know he was not a criminal when it comes to stuff like this.
Now, wait a minute, Lee. Your daddy.
And my dad, by the way, was a Republican. He voted for Dwight Eisenhower. My mom did not.
No way.
Yes.
He voted for Eisenhower. Was that when Republicans like black folks?
Ike, baby.
Ike was the man. And see, my dad was former military.
I like Ike.
But I'm saying, was that when Republicans were down with black folks? Because they were at one time.
No, that was back when Lincoln was president.
Yeah, I mean, and
wasn't that your dad's time?
Yeah, actually, damn near. He was born in the 1800s. He'd be 130 some years old now if he was around.
So Lee, I got a question. So now your parents were around when liquor was illegal. You sure your parents weren't part of the bootlegging era?
No, they didn't. My mom didn't drink. My dad would take a drink on holidays.
But they could have been shipping it in from Canada or something.
Well, I don't know what the hell happened to the money.
Well, they could have been sipping in the bedroom and you didn't know. They put you to bed. Go ahead, baby. Good night.
That's a possibility. But if they were bootlegging, they should have been making some serious money.
They were drinking Coca-Cola, which had cocaine in it. That's what
look, the Kennedys stole all the money. Okay?
Yeah, it didn't get down to my family. So no, I wish, but
yeah.
But that's a pretty hefty thing when you look at it. And someone from the Federal Bureau of Investigation comes, and you know that's a serious organization for crime prevention, and they tell you all the stuff that they know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting here asking you pertinent questions that if you say yes, no, or something indifferent from what they already know, you can be in prison. You got to give them an answer. You really you can't get out of giving them an answer.
Unless you say, I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Well,
but if you have nothing to hide, why should you plead? Even Trump said that. You have something to hide if you take the fifth. He said that 4 or 5 years ago. And what did he do? 440 times he took the fifth.
Yep.
I want to know.
I take the fifth.
I want to know what the hell did he do to Jared to piss him off, to convince him. He did. I'm telling you, man, this whole thing, we keep talking about Trump and if he going to jail, if they ain't going to get him, I'm telling you, it's a people game. And going back to something, Dr. Ron, you said earlier that we were talking about they're not going after people. You know, one of the things, the politicians that Donald Trump is threatening to reveal is not on an individual basis, but based on what they voted on. See, he wants to come out and tell people, you know, you supported that guy over here, Scott Jurgensen. Well, Scott Jurgensen voted for racism. You voted on this guy over here, Alex Smith. Alex Smith voted on no hospital care. That's what I believe in my heart of hearts that Donald Trump is holding against these guys, because it's not about them individually. It's not saying he stole a piece of candy out the cookie jar. It's about the policy. Going back to what Lee said, he wants to be over the Republican Party, because I got to say this, and either you or Ron said this, that he's over the Republican Party. I don't believe that he's over the party yet. I think
typically the former president.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on certain levels, but typically the former president, you know, from the previous administration becomes the head of the Republican Party, even when he's in office.
Yeah, when he's in office.
And when he leaves the office, he's still in charge of it. That's where typically. Right. No, that's where it is.
That's right, Lee. I don't know if that's right. A lot of time, most of the times, after they get out of office, they kind of fade into the background and they stop. They don't make any kind of political
But
statements.
in the background, okay, when George W. left the office, you think he didn't have conversation with Mitch McConnell and those guys?
I don't think so. I think he was.
I think he did. Yeah,
I think he was
not
publicly
there. Well, yeah, but I think they would call on him and get his stamp of approval,
and especially after the war and the Saddam Hussein crap he had. I don't think
he elected to take a softer role. But why did they allow Donald Trump?
The same thing with his
dad. To continue to possess that kind of power.
His dad, after his dad lost the election, he was like, never mind.
Well, see, they were at least statesmen, and they were cool about, okay,
and
look,
they had
my
a little
time,
bit of class.
My time, my time is done. Let me moonwalk on away from this and let the next regime take over.
And they were rich for real.
Yeah,
not play billionaires.
Exactly. But see, Trump, he has it confused. He's very confused about what that position is. And he wanted to make it into, a monarchy. He wants to be there forever.
Yep.
He said that.
Absolutely.
Probably because somebody told me that he couldn't do it. I can do anything, my friend.
Right. So he believed 90% of what came out of his mouth.
I don't think
if
so.
If I kill somebody on Park Avenue, y'all still gonna vote for me,
dude. To me, I think he's a compulsive liar. Compulsive liars, they just lie.
Absolutely.
They just lie. But you know what? They don't believe half the lies they say. They're just talking to be talking. A lot of times they're just talking to get a reaction.
But part of his disease is that he believes it.
Yeah,
that's a disease,
and that's the big part of it. That's the cancer in the game.
When he's saying it, but I'm saying I think a lot of times, he's probably the world's biggest shock jock, bigger than Howard Stern.
Oh, absolutely is. He understands how to manipulate the media.
And there you go.
And shock jocks, and what do shock jocks do? They just want to shock.
Well, I've been calling him for the last 6-7 years a media pimp.
Did he answer? Oh, you meant you calling him by name. I thought you meant you had been calling him on the phone. I'm sorry.
No, hell.
Yeah, he said, I don't accept calls from you people.
Right, exactly. There's a little video floating around on YouTube, and I think it's on TikTok. This guy's out interviewing people on the street, and this relatively young black female, and she came out with her reasons for being a Trump supporter because he allegedly gave $35 million to some nonprofit to prevent child abuse or something like that.
Who gave $35 million?
She says Trump. And once she found out he did that, then she was not just a Trump supporter, she was a Trump lover. I'm going, I missed that headline. I
missed that story.
I missed that one, boy. And I even commented.
Maybe it was before he became the president.
But if
dictator.
that had happened, if he gave $35 million to any damn
That would be
thing,
news.
that would be news, and he would be pumping that shit every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. Now think about it. Trump,
That one's hard.
does he
to
have
believe. I wanna see the
$35
check.
million to give away?
It
Now,
might not
just
have been once.
I'm not buying that one either.
no.
Nah.
Yeah. Now,
Since-
especially the person who opened up his mouth very quickly and said, "I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln."
Absolutely, yes.
I said it, and that's the truth.
Oh,
Now,
it depends
just-
on what black
just-
people you're talking about.
Just since the FBI went into his hotel room down in Florida, he has raised over $1 million a day.
Yeah.
This month alone, he's raised over $30 million. What
The
does that
art
tell you,
of
man?
the deal. The
That tells
art
me
of
there's
the
a-
deal is in motion, and they're falling for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
He got a three-way hook in everybody's mouth, and he's dragging them through the mud.
He's
Yep.
dragging them through the mud. He's got them, and they can't see it. They keep doing it. Imagine, including you, George, if everybody stopped talking about Donald Trump, this whole they can't
Yeah.
stop talking about him.
I said that when he was running for the presidency, before he became the president, that I tried to stop talking about him, but his shit
No, you
is so
didn't.
ridiculous, and you
It's so compelling.
it is, but it isn't. It's beyond compelling. It's
I love
more in
him.
the
I love talking
unfucking
about him.
believable ridiculous category now.
He's my man.
But that's why he says ridiculous things, because you fall for it.
But okay, you're right. You're
You do.
absolutely right, Mike, and Buck Wheezy. You're right too. And I would love to stop talking about him, but that ain't gonna happen till his monkey ass is in jail.
And you
Okay,
got
here's
to-
what I'm gonna do.
And you still gonna
Next-
talk about him.
No,
I can't wait for him to get back.
I'll
Buck.
stop.
Here's what
That's
I'm
the
gonna
end
do.
of the game right there.
Now, here's what I'm gonna do. Buck,
All right.
Dr. Ron, I got a good friend of mine who is a hypnotist. We're gonna have him on the show next week, and we're gonna put Lee under.
Hmm.
And find out if he's
No.
secretly in
No.
love with Donald
We're
Trump.
gonna put him under and have him where he don't talk about Trump anymore.
I don't think
you-
even he
Have him
could
come
do
in.
that.
Pocket watch and everything. He
It's
got
gonna
a
take
pocket
electric
watch.
shock treatment for that to happen.
Watch next,
Yeah.
Or,
next
hey,
week.
Remember that back in the day they used to wire people's mouths shut? Maybe we could try that.
Do that on Trump.
I think Lee can get around that. I think the hypnosis is what we got to do. We're gonna put him under, and it'll be, your eyelids are getting heavy, you're getting sleepy. Go ahead.
Did you answer the question about turning in your parents? Did you answer it yourself?
Did
'Cause
I
you
answer?
made
Oh,
up-
I'm not.
Yeah, you
well,
made us answer it. You didn't answer it yourself. So,
Well, that's.
I'm
I'm
still,
glad you. brought
I'm
that-
still waiting on my turn to answer.
Okay, well, go ahead.
well, you've talked about 5 other things ever since then. Why don't you go ahead and answer on your own? I mean, Ron?
Have
You
you
know,
answered?
let me say this,
Well, look.
Ron, and don't forget your thought. He remind me of my mama. That's something my mama would do. Say to my daddy, "Yeah, you done did everything else. You done did."
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm going to openly and publicly say this right into the camera. Mom and Daddy, y'all going to jail.
Right. That's my and that's my
Yeah.
answer too.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
Do I have
look.
a Bible
my
in here?
look, my dad from the west side of Chicago. I know he did something wrong. Whatever he did, they then finally caught up with you. You're going to jail. If they
I'm
ask me,
gonna
did you
swear
see your
this
daddy
is-
do this?
Men of color.
Yeah,
Study Bible.
yeah. Look,
I swear their ass is going to jail.
and look. If they ask me, did you see your daddy do this, and this? I'm gonna like show did on the 3rd of September.
I told my daddy.
That day I'll
Always
always remember.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
And my mama was driving the car.
You know what?
Lord.
I agree with you. If my mom or dad took some top secret documents from the White House, I would have a serious conversation with them before I turn them in. I said, look, y'all need to take these papers back and apologize. RAT now.
I may
now.
even volunteer to take the papers back for him. Where the papers at? Give
Right.
me
Give me them damn papers.
Yeah, I don't think an apology is what would get anybody out of hot water on that one, Mr.
Well,
Marcus
you can at
George.
least try to lie. I mean, he's a good liar. I think he could probably moonwalk his way out and say, look, I didn't realize those papers were in the box. I thought it was some memo shit that really didn't matter. And I haven't even opened the box. I don't really know what's in those boxes. But he can't do that now because the investigators have been down there and met with him and his lawyers, and the lawyers lied. He lied. He's a liar. Okay. And,
Well,
and
you
then
know what?
I would bet that they said, look, you need to get those papers back by X date. And that has been said in the news.
But,
And he
you know, he
didn't meet
probably
that.
didn't.
He didn't meet it.
He probably didn't go through all those papers himself to know what's in there. He probably had somebody do it for him.
He had somebody go in, take pictures of the stuff that he wants on certain people, and he got them in a quiet file. And every time somebody get ready to say, did you say something? You talking.
Well, that's a different set of files. But if we're talking about top secret, FBI only, in a closed
I'm talking
room
about any
type of
files
document.
that was in them damn boxes.
Well, we don't know what they actually found other than the list of 11 different categories of secretive documents that he should not.
Who is we?
Well, I'm talking about the
Why are you hitting the
FBI.
high tone voice?
I'm talking about
Why are you
the
stuttering?
reports that we have heard from the FBI and the Department of Justice stated that this is a list of the type of files that were recovered that he should not have had. That's
You
what
ain't
I'm
gonna be
talking
happy
about.
till we put your ass under hypnosis
That ain't happening.
next week.
I can't. You can't do it. Can't
You got
touch
too many
that.
secrets, huh?
No, I just can't go on there.
Like
I've tried. I've had people to try to hypnotize me, and it won't work.
Well, why did you play like you was just hypnotized to see what happened?
Fake it till
You
you
want me
make it.
to lie? In other words, okay. Yeah, man.
Ron, you ever been under hypnosis?
They tried. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work on me.
Yeah. When I woke up, I still was quacking like a chicken.
Yeah, I tried. It didn't work.
I've never had anybody try to put me under hypnosis, so I don't know what that's like.
I paid money, and like,
Wow.
yeah, and she told me in about 30 minutes you're gonna stop quacking like a chicken. I was like, okay, quack quack, okay, quack quack.
I just honestly
What she didn't know is that what Ron quacks like a duck all the time anyway.
Well,
Quack,
if
quack,
it quacks and looks like a duck, what does that mean, Bud?
Yeah.
It is what it is, son. It is what it is.
I tried though. Seriously, I went to a therapist. Actually, I was hitting on her.
He said quacks like a chicken.
Yeah, I was hitting.
Y'all missed that part.
Yeah, I was trying to convince her to do freaky things with me.
And so, ooh.
And that's why you quack like a chicken.
Boy, this sounds like something. Boy, this get ready to top the Donald Trump. You're gonna be talking about Ron next week. Oh boy.
I don't know nothing about this, but if the FBI asks me, Ron, I'm gonna say, yeah, he did that shit. Yeah,
he quacked like a chicken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then she went off and married somebody else. And she wouldn't give me another appointment no more.
Because you kept quacking like a chicken.
But you know what came to my mind going back to the big news people poll question? What could, when they're sitting here and they're telling you that they know they have certain things, they have what they call discovery on your dad and your father-in-law. And you're thinking about, okay, some of this stuff I know about and some I don't. But at some point, they had to know the possibilities of this coming up. I don't think that there was an element of surprise that all of a sudden Ivanka walks in and they say, excuse me, what's her last name? Kushner? Or what is it? What is
Kushner.
Trump.
No, she's married.
Trump Kirshner.
Yeah. Somebody's out here waiting to see you, or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, wants to talk to you.
Who was actually there? Was she there?
That's where I'm going with it. Was she there?
I don't think any of the family members
they haven't divulged anything yet. It's all speculative.
One of his lawyers, I've heard, was there
Mm-hmm.
While the FBI was going through the search.
Because that had to be confidential. That wouldn't be on a Zoom call, would it?
No, I don't think it would be.
Who's Zooming who?
Aretha Franklin.
There you go.
Who's zooming?
Yeah. So, but what would you do with your parents?
I'm a mama's boy, so I'd be in jail.
Oh,
wow.
You would take the hit, huh?
Anything for my mama.
You'll always love his mama.
I will
She's his
always
favorite
love
girl.
my mama.
Anything.
Yeah, the intruders. That, and listen, and I like hearing you say that, because I would probably do the same, but I would definitely have that conversation with mom and dad and say, look,
from across the bars,
you got to give up. No, before they get locked up, I'm gonna have a serious conversation with them and say, look,
what makes you think they want to talk to you anymore?
Right, exactly. Okay, you had already told on them.
No. Before snitching, I would have a conversation with them and let them know, hey, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Now, you got to do the right thing. You got to go ahead and give up the papers, and then it's all over. You can apologize. And say, I didn't have any negative intent to do anything with these documents. I didn't realize they were there. Here, please come get this shit now.
Come get my mom and dad. That's what's going, not you.
No, this would be them saying it to me. I'm a moonwalk away from it at that point. Now, if they don't give up the papers,
now what happens if they blame you for everything?
Well, that's a damn lie.
Okay, look, I see my son burying his body in the backyard on the 3rd of September. That day I'll always remember. I knew that boy took after his father. I don't know why he took after his father.
Exactly.
So, she gonna save herself at that point.
One of the things that Donald Trump did for Jared was help him purchase some significant property in Manhattan. That had been tied up in some court cases. I think he had been trying to get the property before. Several people were trying to bid on it. You can Google it to get more information. And that was one of the things that just kind of made me think twice when they came out and said that Ivanka and Jared was, loose with the lips. Because I'm going, he did a lot for his son-in-law. He put him in a pretty prominent position in his administration as an advisor.
But why? Because he was married to his daughter.
Of course.
And it's about the accumulation of more wealth within the family.
There you go. Come on,
so
you preaching.
You could have been married to her and it would have been the same, but you wouldn't have gotten the same percentage.
Right. Now, it wouldn't have been the same. All that Negro want is a radio station. We're not doing that. BLS is not available, Mike.
So, but yeah, that's what that was all about. It's about building.
They had their tiffs
family wealth.
Didn't Jared and Donald have open tiffs? They fought a lot openly,
I didn't see much of that.
Yeah,
I didn't see much of that.
I think it was something he said about the Jews, and then then they came back and said, "Well, your son-in-law is a Jew. How you gonna crack on the Jews when your son-in-law?" Your wife is married to a Jew. He said something retarded.
I do remember something. I don't remember the
it was a while back. When he was running his mouth and inserting foot in it on a regular basis, and so because they went on to say your grandchildren are even Jews. I remember them, really bringing that to a highlight, and so I don't know if they were ever on the best of terms anyway. So it might be an easy thing if he is, you got to put that if in there. If he is the snitch, then, it might have been easy for him to do it. And she sided with her husband, hey, I'm going with him, and begin to distance herself from the family business, because there were some things that, point the finger their direction and make it easy to say they are the ones that's, the undercover mole. They know where a lot of the details are. They're likely suspects to be the snitches, but, it's a lot of scenarios in there that could actually, you got Secret Service around you every day, and they're committed to serving the government, not serving you as an individual, so it could have been a lot of different, people involved with, wanting to, right the wrongs that this administration have done.
One of the things that I honestly believe from the Donald Trump that I saw when I was in New York trying to build, get Manhattan back on its feet, he was doing some positive things. And then there was some other things that you just kind of went, okay, you just did all this over here, but why did you make this serious right turn over here? I could see Donald Trump saying to them, tell them what you think you know, and leaving it at that. Because now any other conversation, knowing him, now he doesn't trust them. So you can't have a further conversation with someone who just said the FBI stopped by the office today and wanted us to tell them about certain things. A Donald Trump immediately, there is no such thing as friends in his world. That's the impression that I get.
Yeah, he'll throw anybody under the bus.
Anybody can go under the bus.
Yep. Look, that's what his lawyer said. That's what his lawyer said. The one that went to jail, from the Stormy Daniels thing. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, I went to jail for this clown. I'm not jumping on no more swords. And he gonna push anybody else in front, like the lawyer today. Not the lawyer, the accountant. Mm-hmm. Gonna get 100 days in jail for jumping on the sword.
Negotiated down from 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he must have given up some significant information for the feds.
Absolutely.
And they can call him to testify.
Right.
But he took the hit. That was what they were saying.
Yeah.
They wanted the whole Canona, how you say that? The whole
Kahuna.
Yeah, that one.
The whole answer
right there.
They wanted everything, and he didn't give up everything, And I think he got to pay back $2 million or something like that.
Yeah, $2 million.
So they got him on some stuff. But at the end of the day, he could have gave up a lot more and probably got a free ride, a freer ride,
Well, they're fishing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. That's why it's so controversial, is that they're really fishing.
I don't think they're fishing anymore. I think they basically got this thing nailed down, man.
Your ass going under hypnosis for the end of this show. We got about 13 minutes to get somebody in here, because I
thought you were gonna say you're going to jail.
No, listen.
With your daddy Donald Trump.
The federal government works at a slow pace, but it's methodical, very detailed. But when they get to the point where they are now, and
they got evidence.
All they're doing is validating what they already know.
Yeah, it's
because they've probably talked to 1,000 people already.
They're giving you a chance to try and let them
help
know.
them out and help their case out.
When they go into the court, they can have enough verification to validate their claims. They have a big fat claim. Yeah. So they don't play around with some, pulling some crap out of their butts on something at this high level. Keep that in mind. This is the former president, and we've never been to this movie before.
And remember, he's going to trial in October.
Right.
In New York.
That's on the taxes, right?
Yeah.
Yep. See,
he
held
went to
back.
That deposition and said, I take the fifth.
Right.
He
lied
to the American. Fun.
He lied to the American people about his taxes. He said he's always under an audit, and as soon as it's over, I'm going to release my tax document. That was before he was a president. Through his 4 years, he still didn't give it up. Now here we are, almost 20 months after he left the office, and he's still trying to resist. But another federal judge has said, "Man, you got to give him up. And I mean right now.
It's in his blood.
Huh?
It's in his blood.
Of course. It goes back to the day one. That's what his daddy used to do. And he's just carried on the family
That's why he
tradition.
put that money in Donald Trump's name when he was like 5.
Right. He knew the bullshit was coming down.
I have speculation here.
Okay.
If Donald Trump were to kick the bucket, Lee Michaels would continue talking about him, saying that he's still alive. Saying that he's still alive.
Trying to get us to do the show from the grave site. The whole nine yards.
Oh, yeah. No. I would be disappointed that if something happened to him before the whole legal process was over.
I bet you would be.
I would, because I think it's important for history to hear the whole story.
Yeah, he'd be slipping away. I agree with Lee on that one.
Former president of the United States is being accused of a lot of major things. And whichever way it comes out, right or wrong, whether he's guilty or not, it needs to go through the process, because your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren will read about this, will be talked about in their schools, just like what we talked about what George Washington and Lincoln and Jefferson and all the other presidents. He is a part of history, and history must be told and complete.
I kind of almost agree with Buck. Notice I said kind of almost. You know, I don't think he's gonna live long enough to stand trial, to be honest with you.
Well, a lot of criminals, do that. They have issues, health issues.
Lee's gonna say he's never dead.
Yeah.
He lives on a tropical island somewhere.
No.
It's gonna be Siberia or something.
No. I'm not gonna say that. If I see him in a casket and it's validated that's him, he's dead. That's all.
You're gonna say it was a fembot that they made. Well,
that's the conspiracy theorist people. Where's the professor? The professor might say that.
Yeah,
but
So
I'm going to accept it.
So before we get too far away, Mike, what's your answer about your mother and father?
I just said they're in jail.
Okay.
Now I have the sentiments of Buck. Don't get it twisted. I love my mom. I believe that they were told what was the FBI pretty much said, hey, here's what we're looking for, and you guys need to tell us what's going on. I believe they went to Donald, told him what was up, and Donald just basically said, tell him what you think you know, and left it there.
You think Donald Trump told who that? His
Ivanka and Jared. Tell them what you think you know, and left it there. Yeah, because let me tell you something. Lying, trusting them to lie would only make it worse.
Well,
he's not going to trust them to lie for him.
Because they'd screw it up?
They'd screw it up. Yeah. They're better off. He's better off. Like he said, tell them what you think you know. That's what he said. And he didn't say anything else about it. Tell them what you think you know.
So you think that's what your mother and father would tell you?
Let me say this. I don't know what my mother and dad would say. My mother would probably cry.
Okay.
My dad would say something that would be something really crazy, or like I told you, something to that effect. Like I said, once again, if they came to me and said, hey, and my dad was a politician. He was an alderman. He was the chief alderman in a town that's in Illinois, Centerville, Illinois. So I saw a lot of political stuff that he was involved in and things that they do. That's why I can speak lightly on politics, not as an authority, but I saw it in motion. Okay. They used to have this thing called the Roosevelt Dinner. And every year, every election year, they had this dinner to raise money, right? To help the candidates run. And each person that was in the party was given $500 worth of tickets. They didn't want the tickets back. You had to pay the $500.
Right. Whether you showed up or not.
Exactly. Okay. So in politics, the processes are there The FBI and the Justice Department knows what these processes are. And that's why I keep circling back. This is all about Donald Trump trying to put some people under the table that he don't either like, or they done threatened him or did something. Period. That's it. And and whatever was in those files, if he releases it, the people who voted for him are going to feel like straight idiots, him or her.
Well, the files in question, though, Mike, are not, at least I don't think, are personal files against
not
any.
personal.
Have you seen
the
them? Have you
committees.
seen them? You haven't seen them, Lee. How would you know?
Well, based on the description that these 11 categories has nothing to do with individuals.
No,
it
it's
has
nothing
all to do with
individuals.
national security.
Right.
I don't know.
Now,
I'm just asking.
does he possibly have information on Mitch McConnell and Little Rubio and all that? Maybe so. Maybe he's got some dirt on him.
On what
he's
voted
already
on.
shown that he don't give a damn about him when he ran against them in the president thing.
Absolutely.
He called them all kind of names and accused the guy down in Texas. His dad was involved in the murder of
Cruz.
Yeah,
He gave Lindsey Graham's mobile phone number.
out. So he's a dirty.
That was a
player.
good one.
That was horrible.
Of course, it was horrible.
You don't deserve to be the president of the United States if you're willing to step that low.
But they elected him, and that was before he was. That was before his
Why?
first term.
Because people are easily convinced on bullshit, and they're ignorant. They're ignorant.
Or ignorant.
That too.
You
That
know,
too.
guys, we live in a society that has grown. We want to believe that it's grown out of racism, that has grown out of selfishness, that has grown out of different situations that's made us either the country you want to live in or the country you love to hate. Okay? And leaving a culture of people behind who still believe that there's a race more superior than another race, that I'm better than this person. If you are involved with the opposite sex and it ain't the opposite sex, something's wrong with you. All of these things are still in place in the minds of millions of people.
Or
Some have a
millions.
voice and some don't. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
Some have a voice and some don't. Because the population is in the billions, isn't it, Mr. Weezy? The overall U.S. population?
Billion.
How many?
330 million.
No, it's more than a million. It's in the billions.
That's in China. They have more than a billion.
Yeah,
We have 600.
China has like 3 billion.
Yeah, we have
we have
600,
only have 300.
650. No, we 600 something.
No,
It used to be 300 something.
Okay,
That's
why
what
don't you
it
do
is.
us a favor while I'm talking? Because you like to have your phone in your hand while we're having our conversation. Google it, Weezy, please.
How do you
The
spell
American-
U.S.?
Okay, U.S. population. Any takers out there, Ron? You want to bet?
Oh,
$5?
you know what? I was
yeah,
What's
300,
wrong.
332 million.
Hello.
Okay, 332 million
Yep.
U.S. citizens.
Ooh.
That's it.
Okay.
I don't know. He was. You were
I was
talking about
embellishing.
mother-
Yes.
Yes, you were wrong.
Whatever.
So-
you say.
Your
When you-
reverb back on, Lee.
Yeah, it's.
I
going
know.
in and-
I turned
It's-
it back
it-
on.
It's an effect that I was about to go into. I was about to become God.
Lee, if you ever say that again, I'll stop the camera and I'm
Radio
out.
God.
Okay?
Radio
Please don't
God speaking
Yeah.
to you now.
Yeah. But seriously, there is a sect of people who still have very common ideas of what this country should be like, what we
Yeah.
should be doing, and how we should be doing it.
Absolutely.
And that's really sad.
It is. It really is sad, Mike. But Trump programmed his whole mission to those who felt that way. The
Mhm.
people that had no voice, that had become politically correct and silent. They had been kind of beat down into the bottom of the trash can. And he brought them out.
Mhm.
He brought them in. He made it okay to agree with him because deep down inside, that's how they felt. So he said, okay, come on out. It's okay. You know, back in the old days, we'd take him out in the back and beat him.
Back in the
Dog
old
whistle.
days, if there was a choice between hiring you and the persuasive gentleman would win every time. Now, because of affirmative action and any other things that we voted for in our society to make fair and balanced, and I don't want to use that word because that's a Republican term, but to make things equal is what it boils in their bloods. It's the same thing. But you know what the big thing is? And I was talking, and I heard this, and I'm just going to keep it real. I heard this from a white woman. She said to me, Mr. Calvin, you know, one of the reasons why this abortion thing is really going crazy is because we really believe that we're losing ground as white Americans.
And it's a big push from the white male because he feels that he's losing power, control, and access to money.
That's the first point of convention.
And that's even above and beyond color lines.
But let's stay with the color lines for a minute. Number two, the children now are mingling together. The white kids want to be like black kids. The black kids want to be like Mexicans. Mexicans want to be like Asian. You know, it's all mixed together. Look at the TV commercials.
True.
Every TV commercial, they dance and they put mixed families together. They're doing all that. And that's always been a part of our system. But at the end of the day, it takes away the dominance.
That's it. Plain and simple. It's just that simple. It really is.
The dominance.
Can I throw a monkey wrench in that statement?
As long as it's not monkeypox.
Okay. I sent you guys a in the chat a video about the robot soldier. Y'all remember seeing that?
Kind of.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens if the person who programs that soldier what to kill is they program it to kill blacks, they program it to kill brown, you know, transgender. What happens if they program the future soldiers to do that and they're accurate within the parameters of what they're programmed to do? Because, you know, they were knocking it down and it was picking itself up and it was still accurate. So what happens if these guys, these rednecks, you know, or these Europeans program these things to shoot us?
You better become a hacker.
Damn
good.
man.
That's deep, ain't it?
Hey, man.
Yeah, because look, first of all, not too many people know that those damn robots exist.
Yeah, I don't think they exist yet. I think those are experimental. I don't think. You think they are in the military now?
Man, if they showing it, they exist.
Well, possibly.
Yeah.
It could be forthcoming very soon.
Yeah, and for
But
those
you know
that
what?
did not see the video, go on YouTube and look up. They call it Future Soldiers. They're all robotic, and they were showing their skill level in shooting and killing.
Yep, the
targets.
accuracy. Yep.
Yeah, you know.
They would hit him with a object and knock him down, and he'd get up, like shook it off and
Take it off.
boom. Yeah. Yeah, but listen, technology evolves every day. Now, all of us are old enough to remember the cartoon in the newspaper, Dick Tracy.
No, we're not.
Right? You don't remember that?
The watch, Dick
You a
Tracy had
lying
the Apple
dog.
Watch, man. He had the first Apple Watch. How you ain't know Dick Tracy?
That's right. He would hit a little button and it would be a TV. He could talk to somebody through his watch in video. Well, when I grew up, I mean, I'm
I
going
mean,
back
like
to
in the Jetsons,
before that, before
Yeah.
the Jetsons.
but like the Jetsons.
Well,
I
Jetsons
remember the
was-
Jetsons.
Again, the Jetsons was at another level because in the Dick Tracy comedy thing, that was the most progressive thing, his watch. But with the Jetsons, it was the flying car, the thing in the kitchen. You know, you put a box in there, hit the button, and the chicken comes out cooked. That was a microwave.
Mhm.
You know,
They had the
So,
robotic maid.
Yeah, the
Or-
robotic
or-
maid and
or
all that.
replicator from Star Trek. But go ahead.
Okay, but so technology has evolved, and it has become a part of our lives now. We all have these damn iPhone, iWatches, or whatever it is. The electric car. Just 2 years ago, I had it was about 3.5 years ago. I had an engineer from Germany in my car, and he was telling me about the project that he was working on. He was a software engineer, and they were developing the software that controls the flying car and the cars that we're seeing today on the road that are electric. And all of them will be no drivers needed. And he was telling me about this flying car that Uber and Lyft were going to be involved with. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but he was explaining to me, he says, you know, if you're in downtown LA, there'll be a building that you'll go up to the top floor, you'll get into this flying car, and it'll take you to the airport. So you'll bypass all this LA traffic to go from downtown to LA during certain times of the day, might take you close to an hour. With the flying car, it'll take you pretty near to the airport to stay away from air traffic, take you to that location, you'll get out of that and get into another Uber, it'll take you into the airport. Your total time might be reduced by more than half. So, and I began to ask questions like, well, what about the FAA and flying? He says, yeah, every flying object in the air will know where everything is. It all communicating with each other, whether it's a commercial airline or a police helicopter or a helicopter from a news station or other flying cars. So everybody's in sync. So that would help the traffic, certainly here in LA and other major cities around the world. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm not going to be the first person to take that flight, number one. Because if it fails, that's your ass. You're going down like a helicopter with no power. And I asked a question about, well, what if this thing flies into a building? He said, well, cars run into each other all the time. He was very, very, sterile on no emotions involved with it. He says, yeah, it's going to happen. Sure. It'll drop out of the sky, maybe fall in a schoolyard, and there'll be some kids killed and stuff like that. It's going to happen. But we just got to be prepared to deal with it. I went, damn, man, I can't wait to get you out of my car because you one cold-hearted SOB.
But it's reality.
It is. So and that's why I brought the story up, because it's probably going to happen. If the technology is there to do it, it's probably going to happen.
You know what was really weird? Okay, so I do Uber and Lyft on the side, and so they got a big campaign where they're trying to get people. At first it was just they were going through Enterprise at another one of the rental car things where you could go get a car. Yeah, Hertz. So now they're on the Tesla kick. Get the electric. You could save all this money on gas. So I picked up a young lady the other day, and she had a Tesla, and we were talking about it. And I said, when I got ready to drop off, I said, can I look inside? I had never seen inside of the Tesla. What I saw turned me off so bad that I'm not interested in the Tesla anymore. And I thought I may have had an inkling of looking at that car because it's electric.
What turned you off?
The big screen?
The big screen with no dash. That was weird to me. It was just weird. When you looked in the car, there's no dash.
Yeah, everything is on that screen.
Everything is on that. That was scary to me.
Air conditioning, volume of the radio, everything
was on the screen. That was the weirdest shit I had. And I was like, and I really thought in my heart of hearts, you know how we go through the electronics and that kind of stuff. You know, if Lee went out and got a Tesla tomorrow, I'd probably be looking and pricing them and that kind of stuff.
and buying one.
Right.
And buying one.
And buying one, right?
No.
And
I wouldn't let you buy a Tesla.
Yeah. I looked inside and I was so turned off. I mean, it was just so bland.
Yeah. And the plastic seats.
Yeah, it was.
You pay $100,000 for polyurethane seats.
Not on the Plaid, the Tesla Model X S Plaid, the one
that's a new top of the line one.
The one that does 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. What are they putting leather in that or fabric?
Leather.
Well, it's about time because to me as an American, I'm spoiled, and I expect certain things when you say luxury,
like a yacht.
Yeah, but my yacht didn't have plastic.
That was cold, dog. That was a cold move right there.
That was funny. Come on now.
We'll talk about that. That was cold right there, dog. Why you do that, man? That was cold.
He likes to send those little sub, attacks on.
You're the richest person I know.
Oh, bullshit! No, you know Tom Johnny. Tom Johnny had more money.
I don't know Tom. I know Ricky.
Ricky Smiley.
Yeah, I gave him a start in radio.
Did you really?
You did. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's cool. I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice guy, I had a nice chat with him. I think it was at a convention. But he's got more money than me because he's still working. So some rich guys, some real rich guys right now.
Let me tell you,
he doesn't have a yacht though.
That last segment of ABC,
he doesn't have a yacht.
Well, he can buy one if he wants.
He's got a boat. He's got a boat, but not a yacht.
Okay. He might end up buying a plane because that would be in his best interest.
Actually, you know what? He is a pilot. He's been flying for half his life.
For Ricky Smiley?
Yeah. He tried to get me to go up with him one day. I'm like, okay, no, never mind.
I've been up in a single engine plane before. Ron Ellison.
Who had his own plane? He flew to Birmingham to meet me for lunch. When I was trying to get a job at K104 back in like 98, 90. No, I'm sorry.
Who was that?
2000, maybe 2008. When Skip Cheatham was doing mornings. No, Ken Dow.
Oh, Ken Dow.
He had his own place. He says, I'll be in at such time. Let's meet at such restaurant. What do you recommend? As soon as I park my plane, I'll head on over there.
Yeah.
Park your what?
Yeah. A plane is a nice thing to have, especially now. A private plane, because you don't have to worry about, going through the same type of stuff you go through a commercial airline. Right. You can just, as long as the weather is good, and you got a common sense pilot, if you're not going to be the pilot, and you obey the air rules and the FAA, and you can go and come when you want to.
But Rick used to talk about flying like being a pilot, like it was the most exhilarating thing ever. And another thing he told me, I never will forget this. He says, the bigger the plane, the easier it is to fly. So those little tiny planes, those little small planes are really difficult to fly because they're light, the wind be blowing them all over the place. He said, but when you're in like a 747, he said, you just be cruising along.
That's right. It's all autopilot. I mean, they have autopilots in the smaller planes too, because my friend Ron Ellison, I don't know if Ron still has a plane now. He was talking about getting rid of it because he was getting up in age. He's probably 80, 81 now.
Oh, your age?
No, I'm not that old. He was trying to sell me the plane. I said, damn, man, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it, but 4 or 5 years, I'll be old as you at that point. He laughed. But I went up with him, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. And he was beginning. I was the first time, but after that, he explained. And he had these laminated cards and like a little, what do you call it? A flip over like series of cards.
cheat sheet cards.
And it was step by step of what you do before you take off and before landing.
I'm not getting on the damn plane with him.
this nigga reading liner cards, right?
But no,
wait a minute, I got my babies. Oh, hell
but,
no.
but there's steps and procedures, even in a 747 that you have to do.
Of course, yeah.
So he had this little manual to ensure that he did all of these things prior to. And you know, the biggest problem for crashes of small aircraft, you know what the problem is?
They didn't check everything.
You die?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes you get the chance to land and survive.
Did you see that story the other day?
The second biggest thing is running out of fuel. You didn't check your fuel.
I didn't know how much you're gonna need. But did you see that thing on the? They were talking about the pilots the other day. They said so many pilots during this pilot shortage or whatever. They were going and cleaning the planes themselves and well, I forgot what else they said, but bringing bags in themselves
to get the job
avoid more delays.
I
was like, wow.
You know, we got a real
crazy
problem in around the world, really, not just here in the U.S. There's a shortage of labor. In Las Vegas, Nevada, they're short 2,000 teachers, 200 bus drivers.
Wow.
Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, I mean, but that's a common problem all over the country right now.
And weird.
Yeah, and it's not a new problem, by the way. I saw this on the news last night, I think it was. And they were saying that this particular school district in Clark County, which is in Las Vegas, they've been short of teachers for a long time. But do you know Nevada, if they're not number 50, they're number 49 in terms of schools and rating? Yeah, horrible.
Louisiana's number 50.
Is it? Okay.
Wow.
Louisiana,
Mississippi, one or the other, right?
Mississippi and Alabama.
Right. The top five, the bottom end. But, you know, but that's shocking.
But and here's another thing about the shortage of teachers. You ever talk to a teacher? They were like, who would want
Who in the hell wants to be a teacher?
Yeah.
When you got to worry about some bozo coming to school with a gun.
Not just that, but you got to take it from below and above. Yeah. And I'm not talking about sexually, Mike.
Oh, damn.
But it's a real problem. I mean, and it's first of all, the salaries are low.
No, all you're thinking is.
You know, I mean, when you look at entertainers and athletes making $100 million a year and the teacher makes 35, 40, 50,000.
Well,
I mean,
teacher told me you have to take it from the kids. You got to take it from their crazy ass parents. You got to take it from the administration. You got to take it from everyone.
School
the board of education, school board,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to get in your ass about how you teaching in your classroom. It's like, who
it ain't worth
wants this for no money? Now, mind you, the money has gotten a lot better. Now, granted, it's not going to go as far as it would have, say, 20 years ago, but you can make $65,000 as a teacher, you know, medium salary nowadays.
In some cities.
In some cities, right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but the starting salary used to be something stupid like, you know, $25,000. You know what I mean? But now,
you got to realize, boy, parents don't even want to teach their own children.
Hey, COVID proved that, Jack.
Look, this thing is over with. Open the damn schools. I'm sending my kids back to y'all. Teach my children because they dumbasses.
Get these little motherfuckers out of my house.
They're looking for 8-hour-a-day babysitters. What they
they didn't know what the kids were putting those teachers through. You know, when you think about a classroom for, let's say you got 20 kids and 20 different personalities, 20 different people with 20 different ideas about how life goes, and they ain't lived long enough.
Did you just say 20? That's a very tiny classroom nowadays. It's more like 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, well, I was just using that as an example.
And that's average. Yeah. And it's bad when a mama have to say, I flunked you. And that's your own child.
She's not going to give you a pass today, huh?
No. Get us out of here, Lee. We've been on here long enough.
All right. Well, thank you.
I can't believe it. Ron said that.
Hey, I'm looking at the clock.
He must be hungry.
Actually, it's right about the time we came on 2 hours ago. So he's on point.
Yep. Well, thanks to everyone who's joined us this evening. We do it every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Or roundabouts there. Somewhere around there.
And we appreciate your participation, the chat room, and we want you to spread the word. Share this show and others, and lock it in. Become a member. We don't ask for any money yet, but we will. But again, thank you for watching the show. We appreciate you. We love you, and please be safe and follow the instructions of continuing to be aware of this whole.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say Donald Trump. Boy, he was scared me there for a minute. I was like,
I'm
shit,
done.
where is he going?
I'm
Make
done.
sure you
with
do
it.
whatever Donald Trump says.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But join us again next Thursday evening. We'll be right here on all of the social media platforms. And be safe out there. We love you. We appreciate you. We respect you. And thank you again. And good night.